Looks like we're set up pretty decently here. Oh, wondering if I can hold my dinner down, courtesy of the wife. Oh, what is going on, YouTube? It's your guy, Lindy Endzone. For a touchdown once again. Taking the lead for the Eagles one video at a time. I might as well paint my face, just like the thumbnail, when this finishes. However long my stream is going to last. I can't even compose myself to create a video on it. That's not, I got so many different emotions going on. Does anybody realize in the fan base right now that our football team is not respected in the NFL right now? Does anybody realize that? Nobody respects the Philadelphia Eagles. We're disrespected so bad that Seattle last night decided to go for it on fourth down, 2 possessions in a row, because they knew our offense was going to do jack squat. Where do I begin? I don't know where to begin. I don't. There's just so much crap compiled into a failed science experiment or something. I don't know. And that's been the genre of this football team. It's just that's been their definition. Nobody knows what's going on in the organization. Nobody knows. One minute we hear all this talk about Jalen Hurts, getting significantly more snaps and sharing the same amount of reps with Carson at practice, and then he gets 2 snaps in the Seattle game. What a joke! What an absolute joke! I feel bad for Jalen Hurts. I honestly feel bad for the kid. His first year in the NFL, and he has to go through this kind of dysfunction. Like, seriously. We had no business in drafting this kid. And he could have a better opportunity on a quarterback-needing team right now to battle for a starting spot. I mean, sure, he could probably get the starting role right now with Carson playing as bad as he is. But it goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than that. It starts from the top. It's started from the top ever since we won the Super Bowl. Ever since we won the Super Bowl, that was probably one of the worst things to happen to this franchise, was winning the Super Bowl, because you develop such a complacency, you develop such a comfort level with where you are that it's so difficult to change. Just like the goofiness of today, the day after, it just continues to get worse. Yeah, we wave Sharif Miller off the practice squad. Mr. I'm going to guarantee 10 sacks. Your ass hasn't even been on the field, on the active roster. 10 sacks. Okay. It's so stupid. I can't even. And then of all things, Lo and behold, Will Parks is gone. Look at that. Great job, Eagles. Great job. Will Parks is gone. The safety that you brought in the offseason to help this defense with versatility in coverage, a veteran safety from Philly that took a pay cut to play for his home team. He took a pay cut that the Detroit Lions and Minnesota Vikings offered him more. He was offered more from 2 other teams in the league to play for them, but he wanted to come here and you waive him. While clowns like Marcus Epps are still on this football team. Why? Marcus Epps is trash, absolute trash. And you have the audacity to continue to limit Will Parks' snap count since week 6 when he returned from injury. He had a hamstring issue. You have the audacity to release him without knowing what his potential could be on this defense. While clowns like Marcus Epps get more snaps. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And don't give me the excuse that Will Parks was in the way of incorporating Kayvon Wallace into the defense. It's not, no. If anything, Kayvon should have taken Marcus Epps' place. This franchise is ridiculous. I can't even take it anymore. I can't. What are we doing right now? What are we doing? By the way, if you like my rants, if you like my discuss, if you like my point of views, and trying to make sense out of nothing with what the Philadelphia Eagles are doing, hit the like button, hit subscribe. Really appreciate it after the video that I dropped yesterday or the day before. I don't even know my own schedule right now. That's how messed up I am. I'm just a broken record. I'm just a broken record, video in and video out, talking about the same crap that the Eagles continue to put on the field, the same crap that Doug Peterson calls from a game plan standpoint on offense, calls the same crap, expects a different result every time. It's not going to happen. Seeing the same mechanical issues from our quarterback, while we decided in the offseason to give more responsibility to coaching positions that don't deserve it. Press Taylor. What made them think that Press Taylor would have been a good passing game coordinator when he can't even do his actual job in the first place and work on the fundamentals of football and being a quarterback to help the franchise quarterback of the football team in Carson Wentz? How about you get that right first, Press Taylor? How about you get that right first? We've seen the red flags. We've seen them since the beginning of the season. And I've said this in videos before. I've talked about how Doug Peterson wanted his guys in Carson Walsh and Mike Groh, thinking that they were going to stay, and the next day and they're gone. All these offensive minds added to the coaching staff for what? They don't do anything. They don't do anything because Doug Peterson doesn't listen to them. You got Press Taylor coordinating the passing game like a dumbass. You know, I think Doug Peterson is. I think Doug Peterson's has slowly sold out. I think he has. And the reason I say this is if we go back to the reports couple months ago or so, earlier in the, it was a little bit earlier in the season. We talked about how we heard Howie Roseman having say in who suits up for game day. Oh crap! Looks like I gotta finish this up. My laptop wants to restart for updates in 15 minutes. Yeah, I wanted this to be quick anyway, but yeah, like I was saying, I knew it was going to be downhill. I mean, maybe you could say so for week one. Maybe you can say so for week one that we knew it was going to go downhill, but it started to become more apparent, especially after those reports with Howie Roseman having say in game time decisions as to who's on the active roster, who's going to be suiting up and who's not. As a head coach, how do you think Doug Peterson feels when he doesn't have that kind of control, when he doesn't have that kind of say? As the commander, as the head coach of this football team, you still have a general manager acting as a puppet master, trying to step in and say who Doug plays and who doesn't, just because he's trying to justify these poor offseason signings. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. How he's just looking for justification and thinking that these older players still have some fuel left in the tank when they don't. Or players that have made major contributions in the past to bring us a Super Bowl and still think that they're that same player. The past is the past for a reason. Stop holding on to these guys. They just don't have it anymore. Alshon Jeffrey doesn't have it anymore. Deshaun Jackson doesn't have it anymore. Jason Peters doesn't have it anymore. You got him out there playing right guard at 38 years old with turf toe. He's complaining about an injury almost every single week. He can't stay healthy. Howie having say in the roster for game day is just him trying to cover up his own mistakes. Oh, the players he signs, they have to be out there. What happened in the beginning when it came to the draft? All this talk about him where he shouldn't incentivize what players have done in the past. And that he has to let go. What happened to all that? Oh. Lo and behold, it was just another smokescreen. Because Howie thinks he's such a cap wizard that he's too damn cheap to get Carson Wentz and this defense some legitimate help. In Carson's 5 years as a quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, who can we really say his number one receiver has been? Has Carson Wentz all this time had a true number one receiver? No. No, he is not. Alshon Jeffrey doesn't count. I see guys around. I see quarterbacks around the league. You can name so many. Kyler Murray now has DeAndre Hopkins. Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams. Russell Wilson has had Tyler Lockett and now DK Metcalf. Tom Brady goes to Tampa Bay because New England didn't have the offensive weapons that he needed to continue to stay there. So he goes to the Buccaneers and has Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. Gronkowski goes with them. He brings in Antonio Brown. Well, to this day, he's still a basket case, but still. Jared Goff, number one pick in the same draft class before you. They have the sense. That front office has the sense to let Jared Goff have Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks for some period of time. Carson Wentz has gotten absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And this is not to bash the rookies, because the rookies, out of all people, I'm talking about Jalen Reagor. Yeah, he had an injury, but he's back now. I'm talking about Jalen Reagor. I'm talking about John Hightower. I'm talking about the continued healthy scratch that is Quez Watkins. Why is Quez Watkins a healthy scratch? Why does he continue to be a healthy scratch when he was part of that group that Howie Roseman wanted to inject some speed into this offense? I don't care that Quez was a 6th-round pick. I don't care. Who is Carson supposed to build chemistry with when his wide receiver core changes almost every week? Players are in and out because of injury. Players are in and out because of Howie trying to justify who he's kept on this roster for the wrong reasons. Alshon Jeffrey. The dysfunction of this organization is just completely unbearable to this point. It's just the simplest things they cannot handle. The simplest things. Not even when it comes to play on the football field. The simplest things in the front office. The simplest things that the organization should carry out. They can't do it. How can you be this complacent for so long, Jeffrey Lurie? All of this nonsense that's going on under your nose. At the end of the day, I still love this football team, and I love to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, but they just continue to make it harder for me. I can't even talk about the football game because it's just the same thing week after week. I can't. I can't talk about Doug Peterson's press conferences because I don't have to. Just the crap that he spews out of his mouth. Because guys like Howie Roseman are so far up his ass that Doug can't even be a proper head coach. The power struggle is just insane. The power struggle with this organization is just insane. And until that power struggle is suppressed or removed, we're not going to see a different football team. Even next year, we're not. I don't want to hear any Eagles fan coming on here saying that we're going to beat Green Bay, that we're going to beat the Saints, that we're going to beat the Cardinals. Hell, we might not even be able to beat the remaining 2 teams in our division in the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington football team. There is not a single glimmer of hope, not a single glimmer of hope that the Eagles give us right now. Not a single one. I can't, man. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's insane. There's even things that I'm agreeing with that Orlando Skandrick is saying at points. Orlando Skandrick, of all people, sees what we see. And we were one of the first ones, some Eagles fans, we were one of the first ones to bash the guy. And rightfully so in cases. Even he can't stand Howie Roseman. And to a degree, I agree with them. But at the same time, a lot of us take it with a grain of salt because of what happened. I don't know. But unfortunately, it looks like I'm going to have to cut this stream short. I got less than 5 minutes before my laptop shuts down for an update. Irritating as it may be. Yeah. Later down the road, if my channel continues to get some traction, maybe I can invest in some technology to help me out with, creating intros and logos and better quality. I can only use my smartphone every now and then, but yeah, I had to come on here and make a quick stream. It was like I couldn't even set myself up to make a proper video because I've had enough. But that's gonna be it for me for today. I'm probably gonna participate in some live streams coming up here today. I know Philly the podcast is doing one. Sports Talk with Let's Go Birds HD is doing one, so I might hop in there and just spend some time with my fellow content creators. And yeah, you guys were the influence in me starting this, and I love talking to those that bleed green. But yeah, thanks to all who took time out to watch my stream for a bit and maybe play it back. But this has been your guy, Lindy End Zone, for the touchdown, taking the lead for this joke of a team, one video at a time. I'll catch y'all in the next one.